This is Housing News 360. The headline: Federal government approves reconstruction of Day-Day Market to Life Camp Road. Senate committee partners Ministry of Finance Incorporated to address housing needs. Government urges builders to comply with urban planning. Gombe builds 30-bedroom corpus lodge, boost feeding allowance. From the foreign scene, the Asian real estate professionals discuss call to action for 2025. The FCT Minister Nyesom Wike on Saturday commissioned the 5-kilometer temporary access road connecting Saburi 1 and 2 communities to the Outer Northern Express and the Old Kefi Day-Day International Market Road in the Abuja Municipal Area Council. During the commissioning, the minister announced the federal government approval for the reconstruction of Day-Day International Market Road to Life Camp, assuring that the project will commence in February and be completed by the end of the year. He stated that Mr. President has directed the Day-Day International Market Road should be reconstructed to Life Camp so as the market can come back to what it used to be as an international market, as it would be flagged off in the next 1 month and commissioned before the end of the year. Speaking to the residents of Saburi, Wike emphasized the commitment of the current administration to delivering on its promises, thanking the people of Saburi for mobilizing themselves by showing appreciation for what the president has done. The Senate Committee on Housing and Urban Development is partnering the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, MOFI, to address the housing gaps in the country. The chairman of the committee, Senator Aminu Tambuwa, said this during an interactive session of the committee with the managing director of MOFI, Dr. Armstrong Takang, and his team held in Abuja. In his remarks, Tambuwa said that the 1 trillion naira likely to be accessed by MOFI would be injected into the housing subsector of the economy. In his presentation, the managing director of the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, Dr. Takang, decried that Nigerians' housing gap was estimated at 20 million units. He added that MOFI was intervening at leveraging on its status, assets and position to raise financing at scale to inject into the sector, financing from the public sector and private sector. The Lagos State government has urged property owners and developers to utilize its free planning information service to avoid going contrary to regulations. The State Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Oluyinka Olumide, gave the advice in a statement issued by the agency's Deputy Director, Public Affairs, Mukaila Sanusi, on Monday at Alausa, Ikeja. He stated that rapid urbanization and population growth in Lagos have caused housing shortages and planning violations, with developers exploiting loopholes, adding that rejections of planning proposals by the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority were due to non-compliance with regulations. Olumide emphasized the importance of utilizing the information service, adding that the state government, in its line with its vision of making Lagos a 21st century economy, as indicated in its Themes Plus agenda, had invested heavily in operative development plans. He, however, urged Lagos residents to abide by planning regulations and support the development agenda of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration for the well-being of all. The Lagos State government has decried illegal building construction on Lagos Island, especially building on narrow strips of land that leave no room for adequate setbacks and airspaces. The Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Oluyinka Olumide, ordered the stoppage of the ongoing construction on number 8 Isale Gongon Street for its narrowness. With the commissioner on the exercise was the Permanent Secretary, Office of Physical Planning, Engineer Olumide Sotiwe, directors in the ministry and functionaries of the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority. The commissioner, however, reaffirmed the firm stance of the Lagos State government against illegal building constructions, as it sued multiple buildings being constructed without planning permits in Lagos Island. Olumide, who led the exercise, said that it had become imperative for the government to compel the right and positive attitude from the people towards physical planning laws after months of gracious amnesty, providing an opportunity for property owners to regularize their building permits without facing immediate penalties. The National Youth Service Corps scheme has hailed the Gombe State government for prioritizing the welfare of corps members, especially their feeding and housing during placement. Speaking during the swearing-in ceremony of 2024 Batch 6 Stream 2 Corps members held at the temporary orientation camp in Amada Ako local government area, the state coordinator Chinwe Nwachuku commended the governor's efforts, Muhammadu Inuwa Yaya, for his continued support for the scheme in Gombe State through the augmentation of feeding during every orientation course. The Chief Judge of Gombe State, Alima Mohammed, represented by Justice Aruna Awal, swore in a total of 1,783 corps members, comprising 928 males and 855 males. The state coordinator continued, noting that the government's 30-bedroom accommodation would go a long way in stabilizing the corps members. However, the Gombe State Governor, Muhammad Yaya, who was represented by Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Inuwa Adamu, assured the 1,783 corps members for their adequate security, commitment to their welfare, security, and general well-being. The butchers in Kubwa Town, Kubwa Area Council of the FCT, have decried the poor state of the main abattoir in the area, which has been built since the early 90s. The butchers said the facility is operated by the Agric and Rural Secretariat of the Federal Capital Territory Administration. They, however, called for a facelift of the facility, which has been neglected for decades. The Sakin Power chief butcher in Kubwa, Alhaji Umar Sule, said despite the revenue being generated to the government by the butchers as well as providing employment to the teeming youth in the area and beyond, the facility has not been receiving government intervention. Speaking on the mode of their operation, Sule said all the cows and other animals that were brought to the abattoir for slaughtering are always inspected by the veterinary doctors before and after the exercise in order to ensure that only healthy meat is taken to the consumers. The Association of South Asian Real Estate Professionals President, Sunita Kakalapudi, welcomed attendees, sharing updates on the latest industry regulations, including the mandatory buyer-broker representation requirement and the newly updated 8.0 contract for Illinois realtors. She highlighted the importance of adapting to these evolving frameworks to stay ahead in the real estate market. He, however, emphasized innovative solutions like modular development and adaptive reuse to address housing challenges. For more housing news, catch up with Housing TV across all social media platforms.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing development broadcasting.